Hi, I'm Rebecca Coleman, food blogger and cookbook author, and today we are going to make beet powder. Okay, I can hear you now. You're saying, but Rebecca, why on earth do I need beet powder? What even is beet powder? Ugh, I know. So beet powder is essentially dehydrated and dried beets that are then powdered, and it makes this really beautiful red colored powder that then you can use in recipes. So you can use this to color things. So for example, you may want to make a red velvet cupcake. Red velvet cupcakes are normally made by adding food coloring to your chocolate cake batter, but this is a way of adding natural food coloring to your chocolate cake batter. You could use this to color meringues, macarons. You can use it to sprinkle on things for garnish, to make a beautiful red colored powder for garnish. There are lots and lots of ways that you can use this in your kitchen. All right, let's get started. I'm starting out with my juicer. This is what's called a slow or a masticating juicer. And essentially what it does is it extracts as much of the nutrients out of the fruit or the vegetable as is humanly possible. But we're not actually gonna use it for the juice today. We're actually gonna use it for the pulp. So I've just washed my beets and I've cut them up into small enough, topped and tailed them, cut them up into small enough portions so that they'll fit in the hopper. Does is it extracts the juice and the nutrients from the fruit or the vegetable, and the juice comes out here into this little thing. On the other side though, in the back, is a second exit, and that exit is for the pulp or the fiber, the hard part of the fruit or the vegetable. I use this pulp for all kinds of things. You can make crackers out of it, you can integrate it into breads, you could integrate it into your veggie burgers. It's really great. It has a lot of uses. Okay, so this beet juice, first of all, is beautiful. But this is what I'm really interested in, and this is the beet pulp. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna dehydrate this beet pulp for 24 hours. So my dehydrator, these are the normal trays for my dehydrator, and as you can see, the holes are quite big in them. So if I tried to put my very small pieces of beet pulp on here, they would just fall through. So I'm going to use this mesh attachment thing that came with my dehydrator that will just make the holes a little bit smaller, but still allow the air to circulate without any difficulty. Just gonna sprinkle it on here, trying to break up if there's any clumps. You really want a nice single layer with as much space between all the bits of beet as possible. There we go. Ready to go. Just gonna put the lid on. I'm turning it to 130 degrees. Turning it on. And I'm gonna let this go for probably 12 hours or maybe even 24. I'll check back with you later. Okay, so it's now the next day. As you can see, I'm wearing different clothes. And my beets have been drying out in the dehydrator for probably about 8 hours. And you'll notice that the texture of them has changed. So they're a lot drier. The color has become quite a lot darker. And they've also become a lot finer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make them really, really fine. And we're gonna do that by grinding them up into a coffee grinder. I actually own 2 coffee grinders. I have one that I use exclusively for coffee, which is what it's meant for, but I have a second coffee grinder that I use for spices. So if I'm making, for example, Indian food and I want to grind the spices up so that they're really fresh, I use this coffee blender for that. So no actual coffee goes into this coffee grinder. It's exclusively meant for spices. All right, I'm just gonna drop my dried beets into the coffee grinder, as much of them as I can. They're not the least awkward thing ever, for sure. They're certainly kind of awkward. And then I'm just gonna put the top on that, I'm gonna whiz it around. And what we have now is this beautiful red beet powder. It's really fine, and this would be something that you could now add into your cooking or your baking as a natural food coloring. Let's taste it. Yeah, it tastes a little bit beety, but it's not a very, very strong beet flavor, so I don't think that it would make a huge impact on the flavor of your baking, and especially if you're using things like vanilla or chocolate that are gonna kind of mask the beetness of what's in here. Personally, I'm gonna try using some of this stuff inside some meringues and see how it makes my meringues look. I'm quite excited to play with it. I think it would be great for coloring buttercream icing on some cupcakes that I'm gonna make. I can't wait. I gotta get in the kitchen and play with this. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I would love to hear some comments from you. Have you tried drying your own vegetables and fruits to make powders to use for natural food coloring? Let me know in the comments below what you've had success with or what you've had failures with, because I'm always interested in both. See you next time.